I initially had this idea to do a video about things that I bought that I thought would change my life versus things that I bought that I didn't really think would do much that actually changed my life. And then as I started writing the script, it kind of turned into just a lifestyle creep video. So I got my handy dandy iPad script here, which is not really a script, it's just bullet points. I actually have bullet points, and then in parentheses it says improv, and I'm like, oh yeah. As we make more money, as we get a job, we get raises, we usually spend more money. This is called lifestyle creep. You might have heard of it called something else, like keeping up with the Joneses. It's like that famous Fight Club quote. We buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't like. I will be the first one to admit that I did this when I got my mechanical engineering job, especially coming from college with like no money whatsoever. I would get those paychecks, I would save them up with something in mind that I wanted to buy. Specifically, it was a 980 Ti was what I wanted, and a brand new monitor and some RGB keyboards and stuff. That's what I saved up my money for. And then as soon as that paycheck would come in, I knew exactly what I needed to pay my rent and stuff, and then I would just blow that load on all those materialistic items. What I was doing was trying to buy off my weekends, trying to buy off those 2 days a week that I had to myself. People do this at work. I would see the CEO or the upper management, they would buy brand new cars, and I know they don't make that much money, but when I look at the car, I know how much the car costs, and you're driving this to and from work 30 minutes a day, and this costs you 50 hours out of the 160 hours you work every month. And besides just the payment cost of it, even if something is free, everything has a cost to it. If someone gives you a car, the car cost to you is free, but you gotta put gas in it, you gotta get registration, you gotta get plates, you gotta maintain it, you gotta do all those things. Everything has a cost besides just the purchasing fee. This is very common. I see this a lot here in Utah. A lot of people live up on the mountains. It's where all the rich people live. It's like a caste system here in Utah, for real. We have this inversion, kind of this smog down here in the valley, and the rich people live up there on the mountains. I don't know how they afford it. Maybe they bought early, I don't know, but they live above the inversion, above all of us peasants down here in the valley where I live. They have this brand new, nice house, or at least it looks brand new, but there's nothing in it. You can drive by and you can look in their big, huge windows that looks over everyone else, and you can see that there's nothing in their house, probably because they can't afford to buy any furniture. As I was spending my money, that sweet, sweet, fresh out of college, salaried money, and I started moving through my careers, and then jobs started saying, yo, we don't have the budget for you, and they started letting me go. That all came to a screeching halt, and it reminded me to stop spending so much money and stop trying to buy things that you're never gonna have time to use anyways just because you're not happy. I know that you're supposed to have like a 6-month emergency fund saved up, but man, is it tempting when you get that first job out of college to just spend that complete paycheck just because you can, just because in college you had nothing. Or maybe you were the kid that had everything in college and your mom and dad paid for it, or you spent those sweet student loans on his brand new Xbox that is now out of date. It can be really easy if you come from a family that's really frugal and you have kind of secondhand things, never had a new car given to me. Like when I turned 16, I got my official driver's license, never had a new car given to me. It's always some from a car auction, probably some dealer's car previously that got repoed or something, you know? Like I never got new stuff. And when you come from a family that's frugal, you don't have a lot, and you're not aware of how you spend your money, and then suddenly you come into a lump sum of money, you just want to spend it because you're like, oh, I've never had this before, and it's super easy to get caught into that. I don't know if you guys have heard of these people that win the lotteries, but most of the time the people that win the lottery are right back where they were because they don't know how to control their spending. I will say this though, I never progressed to the point where I used credit cards to buy things, to spend money that I didn't have, that I assumed I would have based on calculating out in the future how much money I was going to get so that I could make the payments. I never did that. And I see a lot of people do that too. They start swiping the credit cards. Easy to swipe credit cards. And the things we do that don't have an immediate effect on our lives make it easy to keep doing whatever it is that we're doing. You could say this with bad habits. You could say this with spending money. You could say this with a number of things in life. But what happened to me is that I started collecting toys. I started to get a whole bunch of fluff in my life. And I just had all these things, but I didn't have any time to use it because I was too busy working. I would be at work browsing things to buy that I could plan on using, and then when it got to the time where I was gonna use it, I was too tired to use it, or I didn't want to use it, or I wanted to do something else. I ended up using the same things that I had. I bought a whole bunch of games on a Steam summer sale, and I just played Rocket League, and I just started collecting things that I would plan on using, and sometimes I find myself doing this when I'm buying camera gear. I'll look at something and I'll be like, ooh, that's a good use case. I could use it for this thing right here. And then that's it. I just have a one-time, one-off use case. Is that worth buying the thing? Not for me, not really. It's just, That's what happens to me. I see something, I'm like, ooh, I have the perfect use for this. And then I get it, and I do that one thing, and then I never use it again. So now I have to have multiple use cases for the thing that I'm going to use at all times. You guys know what I'm talking about with these Udemy sales. Udemy sales. Udemy sales is not sales. Everything's on sale on Udemy all the time. Congratulations, your name is John Sale. But you guys know what I'm talking about. You feel, it's just a marketing tactic. You feel pushed into a sale ends in 2 days. And you buy all the Udemy courses and you tell yourself you're gonna do it, and you all got 1% of the Udemy courses done and you never do them. But you see yourself completing the course and building that game that you got from the game dev course. Or you see yourself becoming a web developer and getting that web dev job before you buy the course. That's how marketing works in general. They make you see yourself with the product. They took you somewhere mentally in a space that was really nice and positive, and you imagined yourself there and you believed it. And then at the end of the description, there's the story is done, and now you snap back into reality and you're like, I don't have this item. I need this item right now. Let me preface this real quick before I start into the next part. I'm very blessed to be where I'm at, and I wish everyone would have the opportunity to be here. These days, there's almost nothing I could buy that would increase my happiness. There's nothing material, really, that I could buy. There's only huge payoffs or things that I could invest in that would increase my happiness because it would increase my security financially, which would increase the time that I have to spend however I want to. But to make investments, you need huge lump sums of money. If I have $500 and I invest that, there's no way that $500 is going to generate a return passively every single month to pay all of my bills. And so I either spend my lump sum that I'm trying to save to invest on something that will generate a noticeable return for me to use and live on, or I spend a piece of that lump sum on something that I probably won't use because I'm too busy doing this every day. Too busy trying to make the pile of the lump sum bigger so that I can invest it and so that I can not have to worry about how my rent's gonna get paid every single month. An example is, do I sacrifice this $1,200 for a brand new phone and take the payment plan, which is gonna end up costing me more money but less money now? Do I sacrifice for this cool new gizmo when I have a phone that does everything that I need it to do, but it doesn't, the pictures aren't as high quality by default out of the camera from this one? So do I spend the money because I'm bored with this and I want this? That's what it comes down to. I'm bored with this, I need something new and refreshing. Like, just change the theme or something, move your buttons around, change the folder names or something. It came crashing down one day that there's no amount of stuff that I could buy that will save me from having to wake up on a Monday morning and go to a job that I'm not fulfilled in. There's no amount of things that I can buy that stops that 2 p.m. Sunday afternoon anxiety from realizing, oh man, I have a big meeting and I haven't done anything to prepare for it. Which, why should you? It's Sunday, right? It's your day off. But not really, because if you're in the field of web development, you're already in knowledge work, and so you can be thinking about work and solving problems, and now technically you're already at work here. And that was a kind of moment where I was like, okay, stop buying so much stuff, get rid of the stuff that you don't need and don't actually use, and start thinking about how you can trade your money for freedom and not money for things to use to temporarily buy off your happiness until you have to go back to work, and then until you get off at 5 p.m. then you can go back home and maybe use those things where you just collapse on the couch, pop open a beer and order a pizza. And I will happily trade less money and less things for more time so that I can use that time to get more experiences. And yes, I know you need money to get experiences in life, but you don't need that much money to get experiences in life. Would it be cool to have a private jet and a Lambo? Yeah, it'd be cool to have a private jet and a Lambo. Would I feel any different if I rode in a Nissan or a Toyota or whatever? Not really. It's just taking me from A to B. It'd be cool to be like, hey guys, look at this. The only reason I would want cool stuff is so that I could share the cool stuff with my friends and be like, yo, let's go do this thing together. I wouldn't want to have it all by myself. I'd want to just share my experience. So usually anything I buy cool, I want two of so that I can share it with somebody. As doing it myself and making a video, hey guys, look at my new thing that I just got. I got all this money and you guys can't do this. I mean, I don't know, that's just not me. I practice gratitude. Every morning I meditate and I think about 5 things that I appreciate. The gratitude journal. A lot of people do this. I write down 5 things that I'm appreciative of every day, and it's the little things. Sometimes it's just the leaves crunching underneath my feet in the fall. Sometimes it's the heat coming out of the fan in the wintertime, and sometimes it's my dogs. It's just the little things that I appreciate every single day. Happy to wake up, happy to be alive. That's how I try to do things. I message 2 people every single day and I say, hey man, I appreciate you. Happy that you're in my life. I want you to know that you matter. Because if you're just appreciative of the little things, it doesn't matter if you have the big things. There's a lot more people in this world that live on a lot less that are just as happy as us, or as we think we are, that live in like mud huts, you know? Some guy's just glad that he got water today. It can be so easy to get caught up about what you don't have that you totally forget about what you do. For most of our lives, or for a lot of us, we're in survival mode. We're just trying to get by. We're just living paycheck to paycheck. And so when you finally get a little bit of money, you're like, I've never had this before, and it's so easy to spend it. What I would recommend instead is when you finally get to that point where you don't have to think about where your rent's coming from. You don't have to think about how you're gonna put food on your table. You take a look at yourself and ask yourself who you are. What actually makes you happy? Are these things making me happy? Like, who am I? It sounds very esoteric and it sounds very abstract and meditation-y, whatever. But when you go and buy something and you start this lifestyle creep path, maybe ask yourself, do I really need this new car? Do I really need this brand new fancy car? Is this really gonna make me happy? Because you look just as pissed as everybody else sitting in this traffic slowdown right now. Don't get caught up in the consumerism, as easy as it is. And once you get to this point in life where you start to have money, and I know as a broke college kid, I know it's so easy. So live below your means. Don't spend everything. Look, let me give you some examples of what I'm talking about here. This monitor right here was just some discount thing that I got at Office Max because it was cheap. The other one over here was a display model at Walmart, and the one in the middle was the one that I bought when I first got my engineering job. I bet a lot of you are thinking, you know, I'd kill for that rig, I'd kill for that setup and stuff. It's not. I mean, this is everything to me. This is all I have. Everything that I work for, I put into this. And I don't really spend much more. I put everything back into the business. While this room might look baller to you guys, let me show you kind of the rest of my house. So here's a room right next to my office, and it's got basically nothing in it. A couple things off my Jeep, a whiteboard, and that's it. Nothing in this room. You know, I just don't have any stuff to put in it. I don't feel a need to use it. I don't want to rent it out because I don't trust someone living here with my dogs. You know, that was a table. I didn't buy that table. That was given to me through a sponsorship. There's your spare bed in the back here. I got the little cot. That's literally my spare bed. I don't feel a need to go out and buy an $800 or $2,000 bed so that I can just have it and be like, well, here's the guest bedroom. This is where people sleep when nobody ever comes over. I mean, I don't have much going on. I have this couch that you're looking at right here was like back room from like rooms to go clearance. They were about to throw it out. I was like, oh, I'll get that. Let me get that. The only thing I spend money on is food, stuff that affects my health, and business stuff, really. That screen there that was a display model from Walmart that they were about to throw away because the screen was going bad. So I just fixed it, replaced the bulbs, and I'm good to go. That's for my motorcycle, and that's, you know, for safety, and I'll mess with that stuff. If it's about safety or health, I'm all about it. I'll spend the money. All right, so here's my kitchen. Not a whole lot in here. This little cabinet, this was like 30 bucks off Amazon. My stove is old, doesn't even have a clock on it. I just got a wooden table over here, just because that was, I don't know, I got that off Amazon for like 90 bucks or something. That's really it. This right here is my bedroom. Not a whole lot in here. Just a couple dogs and a meditation chair and a fan, and then my closet right here. But I don't have any fancy TVs or anything in here. Just that's it. I feel like if I'm gonna talk about lifestyle creep, I should probably show you that I'm not partaking in it. Hopefully this video was coherent. Hopefully this video provided some value, and I'll see you guys in the next one.